Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to take a look at the Transformers Legacy Wreck and Rule Collection Prime Universe Bulkhead. Before we take a look at them, let's take a look at the packaging. So in the front here, of course, we have Bulkhead looking very cool with his hammer. His other hammer, of course, is really cool machine gun on his shoulder and a really awesome battle pose with a big arm on the side and several buildings in the background looking super cool. Of course, with the Legacy and Wreck and Rule text at the very bottom corner. Of course, Prime Universe Bulkhead and the text Transformers. On the very top, we have Legacy and Wreck and Rule Collection. On this side, we have the Decepticon Legacy artwork. On the back, he transforms in 31 steps. So, of course, a shot of his robot and truck mode, and of course, a picture of that brand new hammer accessory. And on the side, we have the Legacy Autobots artwork, which looks very cool. And that's pretty much it for the packaging. Let's now move on to here we have Wreck and Rule Bulkhead in his really cool looking military truck mode. Let's take a look at the details. Starting at the very front, some nice yellowish orange for those lights there. Of course, this nice cable there at the front where the grill is. Nice symbol there done in that silverish blue. Some black for the windows, also sculpted in some mirrors and windshield wipers done in green. On that side, of course, and everywhere else, there is this nice splatter of paint of black and brown, very military-like. Looks very, very good. Some more windows, some nuts and bolts and panels and everything. That looks really good. Nice big black canister there with some black wheels, 3 on each side, which looks very good. Of course, the nice tarp design. I really do like how they put some sways in the plastic so it looks like it's wrinkles in the fabric. It looks very good, like it's blowing in the wind. That looks super cool. Some hinges. We also do have some minicon ports, some Armada minicon ports, so hopefully they will be making some Armada minicons very soon in the Legacy line. Of course, you can store the accessories inside that tarp section, which I will show in just a second. Of course, all the details are repeated on the other side. On the top, we have some more black and more of those paint splatters everywhere. And overall, looking very, very cool in this amazing looking truck mode. Let's now get in one quick comparison. Here he is with Legacy Wave 1 Voyager class Bulkhead. So as you can see, sculpt-wise, they're the exact same, really just a completely brand new deco. Really, it is just this one with a lot of more military style deco. As you can see, the green is much darker and kind of muddier on this version, and this is much brighter at the front, a little bit darker in the back. As you can see, very, very similar. Really just up to your own personal preference which one you like, if more of a clean look or more of a military kind of war-torn look. But overall, 2 pretty cool looking truck modes. Just get a front-on perspective. There you go. And overall, 2 really cool looking trucks. That's pretty much it for the comparison. Let's now get into the accessories and storage. So of course, one of them being is this tarp section here, which I'm going to quickly take off so I can show you how to store the accessories. Let me just untab them like this. There is a tab and a slot right there. Do the same thing on the other side. Just take this off, and we can just take this off this peg. And how this is stored is there is a peg and there is a port, and that's how that's stored. I will put it back on in just a second. I just want to have enough clearance and enough opening to show you how the accessories are stored. So of course, one of them being is this really cool shield. Of course, this is the shield for the robot mode, but also the tarp for the car mode, which looks pretty cool. Next up, for the accessories, he also does come with that same mace that came with the first Legacy Wave 1 version, now done in this nice silver. I'm pretty sure the Legacy Wave 1 version was more of a gunmetal gray. I actually quite like this silver. And how this stores is there is this port, and there is a peg, and this will just plug right into place just like that, and that looks pretty cool. He also does come with the same blaster, except it's not really energon infused this time. It's more really done in this kind of foggy grayish black plastic, which looks pretty good. And there is a peg and a port, and this will just store just like that. And there we go. That's the exact same storage as the Legacy Wave 1 version, so nothing crazy. He also does come with a hammer, which I will show in just a second, but let me quickly put this tarp back on to complete the truck. So you just plug that right into place. You can then store these on just like this, and there we go. And now we have the accessories stored in the back, all nice and concealed, and honestly barely even tell there's anything in there. For his next accessory, he does come with this brand new sculpted hammer, and I really think we will be getting a new Transformers Prime Legacy breakdown. That'd be really cool to see. So for storage for this, there is a peg right there, and you can just plug this right in there, just like that. Not the best storage, but that's really what they've shown. You could stick the handle in at the top, but I think that looks kind of ridiculous, but that's really the only main places where you can put them. Of course, there's another peg on their side if you want to put it there, but that is pretty much it for storage and the accessories. Of course, I'll bring them out later when he's in his robot mode, and I'll show you how those incorporate into his robot mode. But that's pretty much it for the vehicle mode. Let's now get into transformation. Now let's get into transformation. I did remove the shield slash tarp thing for the truck just to get out of the way and give more clearance for the transformation. You can leave it on if you want, but I typically do take it off. Let's start at the very back with the leg. So what you're going to want to do is separate this whole section here. As you can see, there is some tabs on these canisters, and there are some slots on the side right there. There's some more tabs and slots on the inside, so quite secure connection there. What you're going to want to do is bring out the foots, and then you can flip out the heel spur like this. And how this was tabbed is there is a tab and there is a slot right there. So you can just bring that out, bring the other foot out like that, and then you can just take out the heel spur. There are the feet all done and complete. Then what you're going to want to do is go to the side, get the canister, and untab that from the legs. So there is a tab on the inside of the canister, and there is a slot on the leg itself. Do the same thing on the other side. Then you can completely fold out the legs. You can then open up this panel, bring this canister in, close that up. Same thing on the other side. Bring in the canister, close that up. And there are the legs pretty much complete. You can then go here, fold in these wheels, and make sure they are pushed up like this. And there we go. And now what you're going to want to do is go here, and then you're going to just raise the camera up a little bit. You can get this black section, hinge this in, and bring that down. And now we can see the entire bottom half is complete. Let's now work on the top half. You can then open up this whole truck section. You can bring out the arms, just completely fold them out. And there's this section here, you can untab them like this. As you can see, there is some tabs and slots there, and that's how that was tabbed together. We can then, as you can see, there is a panel way back in there. You can push that in like this to make a gap so you can put the head up. So just hinge the head up like that. Sometimes it can take some force. We can then hinge these arms up. As you can see, there is a slot and a tab on that section. That will just tab into place. Just to line everything up. And there we have Bulkhead and his really cool looking robot mode. So overall transformation was, a little fiddly sometimes, but overall I think the robot mode looks very cool. Let's now take a look at the details. So here we have Legacy Wreck and Rule Bulkhead in his really cool looking robot mode. Let's take a look at the details. I really do like this amazing head sculpt. I actually probably prefer this silver over the more gunmetal gray with the Legacy Wave 1, which I will bring out in just a second for comparison. Of course, for the chest here, some nice dark black for the windows. Of course, you can pick out the windshield wipers, the lights, a nice hook there, that really cool looking symbol done in blue and silver. Of course, for the shoulders, some nice green and black. You can see the wheels there at the shoulders looking pretty good. And overall, very simple, which looks pretty nice. Getting down to the legs, some nice black, some more green, and wheels. Overall, a nice darker green for the feet. But overall, not going to take a very long time with details for this figure, of course, because I already did review Legacy Wave 1, which, is a very similar character. But overall, detail-wise, looks super cool. Let's now get into the accessories. So first up, he does come with the exact same mace / wrecking ball. So this is the Wreck and Rule one. This is the Legacy Wave 1 version. As you can see, more of a gunmetal gray with this one. More of a silver. I actually probably prefer this color. So let's just open this up, and as you can see, there is a peg on the inside, and there is a port for the hands. So you can just plug this right into place, and you can close it up, and there he has his really cool looking wrecking ball, which looks very nice. And for storage for that, that's really the only place you can really put it. Let's move on to the shield. So here is the really cool Riot shield, probably one of my favorite accessories. Of course, this is the tarp mode, so you really just flip it around, and here's the really cool looking shield. What you're going to want to do is bring in this peg on the other side just like that. And for a quick comparison, here it is with the Legacy Wave 1 version. So for this side, really you can tell this is much more of a dirtier, darker green. This is more of a lighter green. And if you flip it onto the other side, you can tell lots of more kind of war paint, war-torn camo colors for the Wreck and Rule shield. So there you go. Moving that one off to the side. So for storage for this, you can really just plug it onto the arm like that, which I think looks pretty cool. Sometimes you really just gotta align it perfectly. Just plug it in there. So there we have Bulkhead using his shield and mace, which I think looks pretty cool. There we go. So you can store it like that, or you can store it on his back, which is actually typically how I store it. So you just fold in that peg, you can rotate the figure around, and you can actually use the same section you used for the vehicle mode. You just get that peg and ports and plug it right into place just like that. And there you can store it on the back. And he does come with 2 more accessories. So let's move on to his brand new accessory. He does come with this really cool looking hammer, done in silver and black. I think that looks pretty cool. You can just plug this into his hand, just like that. And that looks pretty cool. And for his final accessory, it does come with that machine gun. And here it is compared with the Energon Infused one. I think I probably prefer this. This looks a little bit ugly, but I know they didn't want to just repackage this same accessory. I just kind of wish maybe there was some silver or green on it. I think that would have been nice. But you can just get these pegs on the side. You can plug it on either side. I'm just going to plug it in here like that. It's a little bit of a loose connection, so I wouldn't trust it too much. Don't flail it around or anything, but it stays if you just leave it in place. And overall, there is Bulkhead fully armed to the teeth with all of his accessories. For accessories, not too bad for a Voyager class size figure. Overall, looks very cool. So that's pretty much it for the accessories. Let's now get into articulation. So now for articulation, starting at the head, of course, it's on a ball joint, so it can look all the way around, up and down for the arms. They can move out and all the way around. There is a swivel all the way around, an elbow bend to a very good degree. There is also hand rotation. Also, there is waist swivel. Also, the leg can kick that far out, can kick that far forward, can kick that far back, and it has a knee bend and a slight swivel. Also, of course, an angle pivot. And that is pretty much it for articulation. Of course, if you have the Legacy Wave 1 Bulkhead, you know exactly what to expect for articulation with this figure. Nothing different or special, but overall a pretty cool looking robot mode. Let's now get into a few quick comparisons. So starting off our comparisons, here we have the Transformers Legacy Wave 1 Bulkhead compared with the Transformers Legacy Wreck and Rule Collection Bulkhead. So which one do I like more? I'm actually not really sure. There's actually pluses and minuses for each of them. I actually really do like the head sculpt on this one. Not as much on this one. I actually really do like the nice darker green and the darker silver for the mouth and chin. I think that looks better on this one. More accurate to the Transformers Prime show than this one. I also do like the Energon Infused cannon more than this one. I think it looks kind of ugly almost. It looks kind of weird on his shoulder. I wish there was a little bit more paint to it. But I actually really do like the new accessory, the new hammer. I think that looks really good with him. Articulation, of course, is the same. There's nothing different with that. The joints are actually a lot tighter on the Legacy Wave 1 version, so that is a big plus to this one. So I kind of wish maybe there's a little bit tighter joints with this one. So I'm kind of mixed. I mean, I like the silver with the wrecking ball on this one. I think the gunmetal gray is a little bit too dark for that figure. So it's kind of a mixed bag. I'm not really sure. Maybe I'll decide someday which one I like more in the comment section down below. Which one do you like more, Legacy Wave 1 or the Wreck and Rule Collection? Of course, this is not really a traditional Bulkhead for Wreck and Roll. Of course, he has tons of spatters of paints, you know, brown and black everywhere, so it is kind of an interesting choice to pick for your favorites. I'm kind of undecided, but I will think about it. But yeah, overall, 2 pretty cool looking figures. You know, really just up to your personal preference. I wouldn't say you have to buy 2. I really just bought this one because I like the deco. Also, I really wanted to complete the whole Wreck and Rule collection, have them together on one shelf. Let's now move on to another comparison. I'm just going to take Bulkhead off to the side. And for our last comparison, here he is with Wreck and Rule Collection Voyager class Springer, which I recently got, and I will definitely review on the channel very, very soon. I think he's a pretty good figure. 2 of the Voyagers of the Wreck and Rule Collection. Of course, all I have left is actually the last two packs with the Fossilizers and Impactor and the Mirage repaint. Really looking forward to getting those and completing the Wreck and Rule collection. So let me know what you think of this figure in the comment section down below. Of course, I'll review Springer very soon over on the channel. I think between the Voyagers of the Wreck and Rule collection, I think I probably like this one more. Just speaking of joints, this figure is actually very loose. I really wish it was tighter, but just putting it aside, I think it's a pretty good figure. Let's now move on to the final thoughts. Now for the final thoughts for the Transformers Legacy Wreck and Rule Collection Bulkhead. Starting in the Robo Mode, I think overall it's a really cool looking Robo Mode. I like the accessories, the really cool new hammer, of course the Riot Shield. The blaster I don't really like that much because it just kind of looks like a blob of gray and black. It looks kind of ugly. I wish there was a little bit more paint to it, like some green, maybe silver. That'd be really nice. I also really do like the new Wrecking Ball. Of course, it is the same sculpt, just a new paint app. It's more silver than gunmetal gray like the last version of this Bulkhead, which I actually probably like this version more. Of course, storage for the accessories is actually really good. Of course, the Wrecking Ball you can really put in his hands. The blaster you could put it on the shoulder or in the hand. Hammer looks super cool, and I do like how you can really pose with the Riot Shield in several different ways. You can have him hold it in his hand, you can put it on the back, several really cool ways, and looks really good in battle poses. Overall, articulation, of course, exactly how it was in Legacy Wave 1 Bulkhead. Nothing surprising or unexpected. Pretty standard for a Voyager class size figure. Everything, waist swivel, good elbow bends, everything. I do wish the joints were a little bit tighter at his arms. His legs are pretty good. Of course, head articulation, typical, but yeah, I wish his joints were a little bit tighter, and his arms, not too bad, but could be a little bit better. Getting into transformation, overall, of course, the exact same as Legacy Wave 1 Bulkhead, so if you have that figure, you know exactly what to do. Not too complex, can be a little fiddly sometimes, but overall you can get it down after a few tries. Vehicle mode actually looks super cool. I like the camo style look to him, very military style. Looks pretty good. I do like how you can store the accessories in the back little tent area, the blaster, and of course the Wrecking Ball with the hammer. Not the best storage. You really cannot put it in the back. I have not actually tried, but from what I've heard, it does not work. Maybe I'll try after this, but I do not think it will fit considering the size of the hammer. But yeah, you can really just plug it on the outside. It doesn't look that good, but it's not the worst. I know it's a hammer, so there's really not that many places you can actually put it, unless without, maybe folding it up, they could have added that feature, who knows. But overall, a really cool looking vehicle mode. I actually do like the tent section, how they put some sways in the plastic, or little creases in the plastic to look like it's blowing in the wind. That's super cool. Very realistic looking. I like the front of the truck, of course, the windshield wipers. All that small little detail really adds a lot and makes the truck look more realistic. All the nuts and bolts, very well detailed. In the end, I'm not still really sure which one I like more, Legacy Wave 1 or this one. There's pluses for both of them. I still recommend it. Of course, you get a brand new accessory, and I think that accessory definitely spells a lot for some new Transformers Prime figures. Definitely, maybe a breakdown. That'd be really cool to see in Legacy. Who knows, maybe we'll get one in Legacy Wave 4. I really hope so. That'd be an awesome figure. I think it's a good chance because we are getting, of course, in Legacy Wave 2, we are getting a knockout, and his partner or sidekick is Breakdown, and his arch nemesis in the Transformers Prime show was Breakdown. So that'd be really cool to see. So you could pose them together, have them battle. That'd be really cool. So let me know what you think of this figure in the comment section down below. I have actually quite a few reviews coming very soon, such as Springer, Motor Master, and the Creatures Collide pack, which is 4 figures. So a lot of reviews there. Really looking forward to getting those. Let me know what you think of this. Which one is better, this one or Legacy Wave 1? And I think that's pretty much it. So I'll see you next time.